Right. Yeah, I can see. So, well, good morning.
Good morning. I'm speaking with Anny Slegten, founder of the famous Hypnotism Training Institute of Alberta, Canada. Dear Anny, I'd like to show this interview to Hungarian Silva graduates. Technically, the Silva Method is very similar to self-hypnosis. I'm sure you use self-hypnosis to keep yourself so fresh and energetic. What practical advice can you give us based on your huge knowledge and experience in self-hypnosis?
All right, for self-hypnosis, the most important thing is to, when you make a recording, for example, for yourself, it is important that you start the recording, and as you go into a trance or you start your suggestions to yourself with something that makes you smile. So you feel really good about it. For example, myself coming from Africa, from Congo, of course it is going swimming. So I start my recording by saying, I am in front of a body of water. And just thinking of that, I'm smiling, I'm smiling. And then I go into the water, and because I am from Africa, the water is warm, and so forth, and it feels good. And I'm starting to float on my back. I do what is called the board, and then once in a while I'm moving my hands to stay afloat, and I'm going like that, and just being like that, I'm smiling. I just thinking of what you can tell, it feels good. So when we do self-hypnosis, or when we are writing suggestions for ourselves, start with something that makes you really smile. Really, it makes such a difference also. Yeah, I think that is one of the most important things. Also, always mention what you want and avoid mentioning what you don't want, because you get it too. So just what you want. The most important thing is that just something that makes you smile as you go into a trance. Yeah.
So you find founding a positive emotional base.
Yeah. So you go into the space, or I don't know how you call it, in the Silva mind control or in hypnosis. You go in there with a smile. It makes such a difference. Yeah.
Great advice.
And I fall asleep listening to a recording of mine about year-round, about 5 nights a week.
Yeah.
Just like now, I'm here in Budapest, and I got my recording with me and my CD player. Yeah.
Do you find it useful to listen to some positive, useful recording during sleeping, or only while you are going to sleeping state?
No, I find that as I go, I am falling asleep, I listen to it, because I know my mind is going to work on it all the time. For example, I'm asking to increase my intuition and things like that. I do all kinds of things like that are very beneficial.
And you do those recordings for yourself?
Yes, I do those recordings for yourself.
And do you recommend us Silva graduates to do recordings for ourselves as well?
Only if they know how to write it down, because they can get into quite offensive. They don't know how to write things down. So you have to really be careful of that. And as a matter of fact, myself, because I'm so used to it, within 3 days, I know if it is good or if it is, I better change it. 3 days. And then I say, So I can.
You go by the results.
Oh, yes. You can tell right away. Sometimes it takes a month, it depends what it is. And do you want an example?
Yes, I would appreciate it.
Well, I'm used to having a lot of money in the bank. I like that, that's the way it goes. And my husband decided to retire, so we bought a property in British Columbia. So all of a sudden, because I have my house, I have my office, all of a sudden, and then another property, a big property in British Columbia, I have 3 insurance, 3 electricity bills, 3 of everything. I said, oh. So, guess what? I just thought, well, I know how to write things. I'm going to say it from now on. All my bills are paid in full. Sounds good, huh? Right. That's what I thought. So, about a month later, I realized that the more money I was making, the more bills I was getting. So I thought, what's happened? So that is something that I do. I take a deep trance as I fall asleep, and I ask my subconscious mind that I call Subby, Subby, what am I doing to create that? And as I woke up, the information came. The focus is on bills. So I changed that right away, and it changed like that.
Do you remember what did you change it for?
I did not.
Do you remember how did you change the sentence?
I said from now on, all the money that I make is for enjoyment and accumulation. So because you have to pay electricity and everything, and insurance and everything. So for enjoyment, so I can spend it, and accumulation, so there is money left to leave in the bank.
So you put the focus on the money left instead of the bills.
Yes. To have a lot of money for everything that I want to do, including money in the bank. But I can tell you that was quite a shock. I thought, what's the matter? And then I have quite a conversation with myself. I said, so because the information came, focus on look at your focus. Well, I was mad. I said, what do you mean? I said, what do you mean, my focus? I know what I'm writing. I'm teaching that. And then there was ha, ha, ha. I said, no. I want to know. He said, your focus, look at your focus. I said, what about my focus? My focus is the bills, the invoices. So, of course, the more money I was making, the more invoices I was getting. Oh, well, the furnace and the new place broke down. We had to buy a new furnace, and then the hot water heater broke down, the electric water heater. We had to replace that, and it was one thing after the other. I said, in 1 month. So it took me 1 month to know what's happening, because it takes 1 month to get all the bills. So
it's a great example. I like your inner conversation with your subconscious mind. You give a name to your subconscious mind, Subby?
I call it Subby, and my husband calls his subconscious mind, he calls it George. So you call it the way you want to, but I call it Subby. Yeah.
Do you find it useful to give a name to your subconscious mind?
Yes, it is, because really your subconscious mind is part of you, so it gives you a more focus on who you what part of you are asking, what part of you have a conversation with.
In the Silva Method, we call the counselors personifying the subconscious mind. It's a similar.
It is, it is all the same. It depends how you. It depends how you call it, but it is all the same.
Great.
It is all the same.
Let me ask you, Anny, what were the most dramatic results of self-hypnosis that you've seen so far, if something comes to you?
Self-hypnosis. Well, the most dramatic thing about self-hypnosis is when, let me explain something. There are situations where going into the pain, for example, is not the time. For example, when somebody is broken arm, you don't have to go into the pain to know what happened and what is the train of thought that created that, because you can find out everything. No, the time then is about the pain. So I'm going to explain, for example, for birthing, to give birth, the most important is for the future mother to listen to a very good recording about that, so that she is what can I say? So she's training herself to think a certain way. Yeah,
I see.
so because I mentioned that because I just did one before, just before I came to Budapest. I did one for one of my graduates who is expecting her baby anytime. So yeah, and so we did we do that together, you know, to make sure it is what she wants, but then I make sure it is written properly. So, and then after that, I gave her the suggestion in my office as I recorded, and then I gave her the recording. And I must say that it is the most effective way to resolve immediate situations like that, you know. Yeah, it was very, very good. Yeah.
Great. You're teaching the so-called surrogate or remote hypnotherapy that you've developed to get information from a distant person and then to help him or her. We do something very similar in the Silva Method that we call case working. What practical advice can you give us to make it more and more effective?
Listen to your intuition, trust the information that is coming to you, no question asked. You don't edit, you don't do anything, whatever is coming to your awareness, trust it. It is not yours, it is whoever you are contacting. And that is the most important thing. You have to trust what comes to you instead of thinking, well, is that right? No, they shouldn't think that way and things like that. No. You have to really trust what comes. By the way, I did that I learned that in 1976, I think. It is because we were in Northern Ontario and we moved to a city that is called North Bay, which is Northern Ontario too, but not as north as where I was living. A much bigger city. For over there, 80,000 people is a big city, because in Canada there is a lot of room. So, and I was participating in a group that was doing the Silva mind control before it was called that way, and we did that. And we were meeting in we were meeting in a place that was very close to a hospital. And first thing you know, as we were doing that with the people that was, you know, they would ask a case, can I have a look at that, and so forth. People, I could say, the souls knew we were doing that, of the people in the hospital, and they would come and we had to say, no, we are busy, just get off. And we had to do that. Now, there is a major difference between that and surrogate session, because we do therapy. And with the Silva mind control, we didn't do that. We were looking at the symptoms.
I see.
That's a major difference.
Now we do healing as well, distant healing, it's included.
Yes, the thing is that it is distant healing, looking at the symptoms, not going to the cause.
I see.
It is a major difference there, and I know because I did it too.
Yeah, in surrogate hypnotherapy you go to the cause as well.
The way I teach it, yeah. It is just like I explained in the class that I just had. I said, you know, when you have a car and the passenger the front tire of the passenger seat keeps wearing out a funny way, what do? Are you always replacing the tire, or are you going to the shop and ask, can you have a look what's going on there?
Sure.
It is the same thing.
I see.
It is that the symptom is the tire that is wearing out a funny way. What is the cause? And we go for the cause.
It's a great analogy. Would you tell us a remarkable story in connection with your surrogate or remote hypnotherapy that comes to you?
Can you repeat that again?
Would you tell us a remarkable story in connection with your surrogate hypnotherapy?
Oh, I have to pick one.
Whatever comes to you.
Okay. There are so many, because they are so unique. So let me think about this. There is one. For example, there was one there that the baby was starting to refuse the mother while in the womb, and it was rejecting the mother's blood. And of course the doctors knew right away, what's going on? You know, everybody's panicked, the baby is going to die in the womb at 28 weeks. And so with a surrogate session we saved that life. And then it was a big argument between the baby in the womb and the mother now, because the mother now was a mother in the past life prior to this one, and the little girl, it was a little girl, was very mad at the mother and decided, I'm going to make her cry, I'm leaving. So we had, that was quite a hypnotherapy session there. Yeah, and then there is another one very recently, the one that is going to have her baby anytime. She was taking the courses and she was very uncomfortable because the baby, the head was under the ribs. And so she couldn't. So anyway, we were talking, you know, we connected the baby and so forth, and then we asked the baby in the womb, the fetus, what can we do for you to be more comfortable? And the fetus, the soul there said, well, his mother should breathe more deeply. And then I was the facilitator and I said, what do you think? How do you want her to breathe? With the head like that, she cannot breathe. I said, well, just put yourself in a good position, because it was going to be a breech birth, the way he was, well, or he or she was. So I said, well, move, get down there, get on the proper position. And about that evening, the husband took his wife for dinner in a restaurant, of course, and while she was in the restaurant, all the while she said to her husband, look, look, and the baby, you could tell, was moving, and you know, because she was pregnant 8 months, so 8.5. So she said, you should look at that, and the baby was moving and so forth. And after that, she was fine. She could breathe. So we can do anything, absolutely anything.
I was brought up in Catholic belief, just like you were. Therefore, I didn't believe in reincarnation until 1990. Then in hypnosis, I clearly saw some of my previous incarnation that changed my point of view. I know you had a similar event in your life. Would you say a few words about it?
Yes, I did. My husband got injured at work up north. And can you imagine, we had to go to the hospital. Wow, okay. So, and something happened there, and I did not know it was a past life at the time. But the thing is that for privacy, the nurse drew a curtain around the bed of my husband's bed where they were preparing him for surgery. And I wanted to be there. So I got there, and the nurse, very rude, sent me out. And it made me cry for 3 days. And I didn't know what it was. It didn't make sense, but 3 days. And about 6 years later, I took a course for, how can I say that so that everybody feels comfortable, for, let's say, intrusive energies to come in people's life. And then I got spontaneously into, as well, when I was there, and Bill Baldwin, the instructor, was explaining something with the attachment people get from energies during the Vietnam War. And as he was explaining that, I heard here, I thought, what's that? And then I turned around. There was nobody there, there was the wall. And there was no, okay. I found out something very interesting, and I got spontaneously into my past life just prior to this one, where, would you believe it, I was born where I died on the First World War. Yeah, it was quite something. And then since then, more and more information comes, of course, because it is like opening a door.
Yeah.
You know, more and more information comes. And then that is where I met my husband, who died in my arms. He didn't know me. He was about 9 years younger than me at the time. Now it is the other way around. And as he died, he said, "I wish you could be my wife." And I was wondering, he doesn't know me, how come he wants that? Well, I was very tired because, I found out by going through that past life that I was exhausted, so I must have swallowed my husband's suggestion, because here I am, I married him.
Great story, and that was the reason why you were sobbing for 3 days.
Yes, because
you were upset
because
so
I
deeply.
was upset because in that life he was injured, and then I wanted to be there in the surgery room to make sure they would look after him properly. But I was exhausted.
Yeah.
And the surgeon said, "Get out of here."
Uh-huh.
And then the surgery room was a tent. So
Yeah.
that's how come the drawing.
That memory was activated.
Yes. That is quite something. It is, as a matter of fact, I want to write the story, and the book will be, "I Wish You Could Be My Wife." Because
I'm looking forward to reading that book. Let me ask you, in 1990 in hypnosis, I saw myself arriving to planet Earth with 40,000 soulmates at the Euphrates River from planet ZX51. We looked like yellow pyramid-shaped souls. Could you comment on this weird memory?
It most likely is right. Always trust what comes to your awareness, because I remember very clearly coming from another planet too, a long time ago, though, very, very long time ago, very long time ago. And I don't remember coming to this planet, but I remember events on that planet and on that time. Yes, and to my amazement, I found out that in the Greek mythology, they talk a lot about some of the memories I have about that time, but I don't remember coming to this planet.
Uh-huh.
That I don't remember. No.
Interesting.
Maybe it is better.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
I believe that we are on this planet in order to grow spiritually. What is your opinion about our basic goal being here?
From what I have learned from my clients, we are here to make peace with ourselves. That's all. No regrets, no guilty feeling, no nothing. Just be at peace with who we are. Accepting ourselves with who we are, with our faults, our everything, with our faults, what we did, what we should have done, the bad things, the good things, everything. It is really then that we are at peace with ourselves, because people think that once we die, everything is rosy, and we are floating there on a cloud with playing the harp, with wings. That's not the way it goes. We all go through, we have to go through the life to get there, but it is when we reflect, it is our regrets that makes us come back. And so really, the place there is our reflection, is our hell, really. We are, hell and heaven is not a place, it is a way of being. So that's how come I can tell you, each time you fix a button, as I call it, a regret or whatever, I can tell you, you are preparing yourself for a much better time when you have crossed over. Oh yeah. So I don't know if you noticed that we are the most severe when we talk. When we look at ourselves, we will easily forgive somebody else, but we don't forgive ourselves. We are very cruel with ourselves. And you know what? Just relax. You tell me somebody who never did anything wrong, you show me a liar. That's about the size of it. Yeah. We all go through things that we should have done, we didn't do, everything, and it is okay. Yeah. So, And also people ask, what do they have to resolve to make peace with themselves? This time around, it is very easy to find out. There is a repetition. You find yourself doing the same thing over and over and over again. And when you go from one past life to another, you will find that you do the same thing, but in different situations. But when you really look at it, it is always the same thing. So please get off of it. Resolve it. Resolve it. It is well worth it.
Great lesson. Thank you. Do you think that 2012 is really a special year in the history of humanity?
No, not at all. Not at all. It is simply that some people are making a lot of money pretending a whole bunch of things. No. Life always is a movement forward. It is a new. Everything is new. Well, when I started my office 28 years ago, there was no fax machines, no cell phone. So everything is changing. And I never thought about it, but my God, I have to learn technical stuff now because
yeah.
Everything is new. It's just like I just got myself an iPhone and here I am. Okay, how do I do that? Okay, well, so, it is...
life is an endless learning.
It is always something different. So just take a deep breath and learn it.
Great. Annie, you know a lot about using energy for healing. How do you fill up yourself with energy, and what do you do? What do you recommend us to be energetic?
I always find very interesting how people see me, because I don't know that I'm putting a lot of energy.
You look very
myself.
energetic.
I have no idea. I don't know. Although everybody tells me that. I think that one of the things is with listening to a self-hypnosis recording, a very good one, as you fall asleep, so it energizes you. Well, it depends what's on it, of course. And also look at life the way it is, no judgment. That's the way it is, okay, that's fine. And just like if somebody, because it happens also almost in every group of people that are training, there is somebody all of a sudden that has a temper tantrum like a little kid. Well, other people say, oh, is she going to be good? And so forth. No, I just look, I say, she's fine. She's just she's acting like a 6-year-old or 7-year-old, depending, One at my office there that just finished, it was like a 3-year-old. My, just, what is it? Okay, so she was all embarrassed the next day. No, I'm okay with it. It was funny as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, and there's no, you learn to have no judgment. You have a look and you observe. Just be at peace. And also understand that everybody has to learn something, allow them to learn it. And only help when they ask for help. And that's not easy to do, because you can say, I wish I could be in my chair. You just wait. When you get in my chair, you're going to know what you are doing. No, they don't ask, don't do it. No. So
that's awesome.
Allowing people to be, really.
Yeah.
Allow people to be.
I want you to know that it's a special feeling, special joy in me to have the chance to talk with you. So Annie, thanks a lot for this conversation.
Okay.
Thank you.
And all the best to all the people who are taking the Silva Mind Control. All the very best. It is a very good program.
Thank you.
Because I learned it too, you see.